He left his wife and newborn twin babies at his mother's insistence, but a news report on TV made him realize his biggest mistake within moments. I first noticed something was different about him the day he quietly closed the nursery door after a phone call from his mother, without even looking at me. Outside, there was no snow on the suburban American street, but inside the house the silence felt frozen. I looked at our twin newborns in the nursery, still struggling with the fragile rhythm of their tiny breaths. And then he came. "We need some time apart," he said. His voice had no emotion in it, just rehearsed words. I didn't even blink. I didn't ask questions. I didn't cry. Because in that moment I understood. It wasn't his decision. It was hers. And then he left. And I stood there, as if the first move in a game had just been made. And now it was my turn to think ahead. At first, the problem wasn't that he left. The problem was why he left. His mother wanted me out. She believed I wasn't on their level. I wasn't paying off my student loans fast enough. My salary didn't match his 401k contributions. She wanted her son to start a clean slate life. An Instagram-perfect wife, perfect house, perfect silence. But my life wasn't Instagram. My life was waking up at 3 a.m. with crying babies, daycare fees that drained my account, and a job where I worked overtime just to keep medical insurance alive. Still, I didn't react. Plan. In the first week, I only observed. The house he was staying in was under my lease. The utility bills were in my name. And most importantly, his financial life couldn't move easily without my credit history. I didn't argue. I just pulled records. 401k statements, joint account logs, student loan repayment schedules. Everything. It was a game, and I was finally learning the rules. In the second week, I focused on my job again. At the hospital billing department, people saw me as just another employee. But I knew how insurance codes and billing loopholes could quietly change lives. "You look different," my coworker said. "I'm just tired," I smiled. That was also a move. In the third week, I learned he was staying at his mother's house. And that same mother was now convincing him to file for divorce quickly, to make a clean break. I almost laughed, because they had no idea I had already set up the next board. I didn't file for divorce. I slowed the legal separation process. I documented financial dependency. I made the parenting schedule official, not just for the children but so the system would keep records on my side. And then I waited. The real move came from the television. It was an ordinary evening. I was sitting in my apartment with the twins. Small unit, moving boxes still half unpacked. The walls felt temporary, like everything around me was still in transition. The TV was on, but I wasn't watching it. Then a news segment came on. Local hospital billing fraud investigation expands. I looked up, and then I saw his name on the screen. Not directly his department head. But then the chain began to unfold. Unpaid claims. Manipulated insurance entries. Signatures I had seen before. Because he used to bring his work laptop home and sit at the dining table pretending it was just work. I didn't move. I just watched. The silence deepened. That was the moment the game revealed its end state. The next day I made a call. "I have documents," I said simply. There was silence on the other end. "Are you sure you want to proceed?" they asked. I looked at my sleeping babies. "I already have," I replied. I submitted everything through legal channels. No drama. No confrontation. No noise. Just data. Emails, billing patterns, timestamps, access logs. I kept myself out of the story. But the story couldn't exist without what I had seen. A week later he came back. Standing at the door like he believed nothing had changed. "What did you do?" his voice cracked. I was holding the twins. "I didn't do anything," I said quietly. "I just stopped not seeing things." He stepped inside. His eyes scanned everything. The small apartment, the moving boxes, the financial papers. "You planned all this?" For the first time I looked directly into his eyes. "No," I said. "You started it. I just reached the end." His mother's name also came into the investigation. Not directly, but through influence, misuse, and pressure networks. The game they thought they were controlling was now being played by the system itself. There was no screaming at the end. No dramatic confrontation. Only silence. A heavy silence that felt more powerful than anger. He left. This time not by choice, but by consequence. I looked out of the window. Suburban American nights always look perfect from a distance. Trim lawns, distant headlights, lives that seem like Instagram posts. But inside those houses, people are calculating 401k contributions, drowning in student loans, and quietly breaking under decisions they never fully made themselves. I looked at my sleeping children. And for the first time I realized I wasn't reacting anymore. I was writing my life. Quietly. And this time the game was in my hands.